Clinks being brought into the fray. Moon's going to be the one to be playing it. The panel said, I mean, Bulldog said he believes in the Clinks. This hero is something that can do a lot of damage in the right situations. But, I mean, why are people not playing it? What are the downsides of bringing the Clinks into a game?
You need a player who understands the hero for one thing, and I think the big change to his ultimate, most Clinks players kind of stopped playing it because it changed the hero in a way where he's totally different. As Bulldog mentioned, he's a team fighter now. He's not this like single target pick off burst damage hero like he used to be as much. So I think a lot of people also stopped playing him because the new ultimate was garbage when it was added. They had to buff it a little bit. Now it's a lot better. But very much it was a hero that just got ignored. Moon, though, level 13 on his Dota Plus. So he's a big Clinks player.
Okay, yeah, he's been spamming.
And that to me is why, you know, that's where Clinks can fit in. If you have a guy that understands how strong the hero is, he plays it a lot, he knows how it works, and it is still very, very viable.
Well, let's see if Moon can have a bit of a better lane than he did in game one, where he saw him die 3 times in that 1v1 matchup.
Clinks strong laner, and Death Prophet a hero you can kind of outrange and stay away from, so you don't, you know, get too close for that Spirit Siphon, or if she runs at you to Spirit Siphon, you've already gotten her very low. So I imagine Moon should fare pretty well here.
See around the runes, J.Storm will be able to get over and get the one from Mineski's Alpha map. At the same time, up top, Mineski are able to get over and take that of J.Storm. So just the 2 for 2. We'll see how the lanes settle up. KP, of course, playing the Caller Shrek at the moment, and he is up top, will be backed up by the Elder Titan, as they'll run the 2 of those against Farev's Pangolier. And once again, J.Storm starting the game with an aggressive tri-lane, bringing the 3 heroes down bottom to make sure that Moon gets the good start on his Monkey King.
Yeah, this Monkey King can cause problems this game if he starts to snowball here. And lane against the Ember could be problematic for Arjit if he's not careful. I imagine we will see that Sleight of Fist build, so probably going to look to play around getting last hits, securing creeps, using Sleight of Fist, and not giving the Jingu to move as much as possible.
So once a couple of levels are there, there's definite kill potential from J.Storm, having these 2 sort of disablers, the telekinesis and the ability to root from March, and certainly hold someone down long enough to get those stacks of Jingu up.
And yeah, they are tri-lane down here, so they definitely want to try and contest Arjit as much as possible. The downside of this is often that your 1v2 Pengo struggles, but Pengo's, you know, doing okay. He's got the at least wave near his tower for now. He's not getting CS, but his lane is not a complete disaster. You're seeing mid though, Clinks actually not having the best time against this Death Prophet. Moon went to lane without any regen, only brought some out after the initial bounty runes were picked up, so he's getting harassed quite heavily. Death Prophet is a very strong laning stage hero.
And obviously with this tri-lane down bottom, it's going to mean that J.Storm are leaving Forever on his own up top on the Pangolier. Do you think should he be fine against these 2 heroes, or can Mineski kill him?
They shouldn't really be able to kill him if he uses and holds onto his Swashbuckler. He only dies if he gets greedy going for some last hits, or, you know, Swashbuckle's on cooldown and then he gets too close. But theoretically, he gets at least experience out of this lane. The question is, you know, whether or not your aggressive tri-lane actually can win their lane, because right now Ember has 8 last hits despite there being a tri-lane down bottom. And if you're running these tri-lanes and not, you know, convincingly winning the lane, it's a little bit concerning.
All the supports sort of battling against one another. Pi was able to force back March, but then Veer tag teams in to sort of force Pi back.
Yep. And you've boots on Rubik, but that does not allow you to hold your ground and trade right clicks better with a Blightstone Nature's Prophet. So Nature's Prophet doesn't care about your boots. If you're hitting him, he's hitting you. If you're running away, well, he won't chase you.
We'll have the creep wave moving back into a more favorable position, J.Storm. They'll do their best to play around here, try and disrupt any sort of pulling being made by Mineski.
Yeah, nice move by March. Puts the sentry there to block the stack from happening and make sure that the Ember doesn't get that pull, because the lane is pushed up very deep here. So they need to find a way to pull the lane back, and that bait camp is something that Radiant always looks to take advantage of in these kind of difficult safe lane matchups.
And Forever up top, as we say, being alone, he has managed to find 7 CS so far. So there will be KP less.
Use the Swashbuckle.
No trouble farming and jerseys. At any time he's used that, has to keep his distance, cannot afford to stand close to creep waivers.
tried to run at him to punish him, but he was in a good enough position. And it's really this kind of cat and mouse game where four of us going to be constantly trying to use Swashbuckle to get a last hit or two, and then Mineski's going to try to punish.
Moon's actually able to walk down Argit and gets the 4 hits off. Just even without the disable at the start, just able to hit Argit the 4 times. So sure, the disable comes in to make sure that he can get the first blood onto Pi. But Argit has to be careful against this Monkey King. Allowing him to get that buffer will mean that Pieliedie is going to be the one that feels the pain.
Yep. Good start to the aggressive trailing down bottom. Even though the Ember was getting some CS out of this lane, you've claimed the first blood now. And with a few more levels, this should start to swing more and more into J.Storm's favor. You see mid lane, still very Death Prophet favored, CS-wise and the denies.
Again, bottom.
Yeah.
To get the slam down onto Argit.
That's fine though, it's kind of just free, couple hundred health regen. He gets the Jingu, gets some harass out of that, so he is a bit low in regen here, and the courier often being just, occupied in the mid lane, so using some mana to regen some health there, well worth it, and Boundless Strike already back up.
You have been denied.
They'll be able to get some of the wave denied here to the camp.
Nice steal.
See Moon.
Another Boundless Strike being used just to try to secure some of these last hits.
Yeah, we'll get a good few of just the smaller ones at least. As we're going to see 2 for J.Storm and 2 for Mineski.
Yep. So, as it stands, small edge for J.Storm with the first blood and the slight laning stage advantage, particularly with the mid lane going the way of the Death Prophet.
Yeah, and this bottom. 31 for 10 against the 18 for 1.
Yep. But it is a slightly similar story up top. The problem is it's like, the hero doing well, winning their lane on Mineski's side is your 3-position Leshrac beating, out-farming the 3-position Pengo because it's 2v1. But as far as carries go, it's your, a carry on Mineski's side, Ember, who's having a rough lane.
And you see March come around towards the mid lane, but Pieliedie has eyes on him. Trance out, and also Febby there by Moon's side. This time you can already see sort of Mineski adapting to how last game went. They want to make sure that Moon doesn't end up dying time and time again in the early 10 minutes of the match. And this time they're very reactionary and ready to keep him safe if anyone tries to make a play on him. Actually in the river though, Febby gets found out by Braille and March. They'll look to run him down. They've got the nukes to bring him out. That'll be Febby dead.
Yep. And his bottom lane is really tough for Argit now. He's kind of out of mana. Monkey's been continuously supported here, even with Nature's Prophet coming back into lane. This feels like a very dangerous lane for everyone to be in, and this double Wraith Band, very aggressive item build coming out of Monkey King to try and punish even further the matchup.
KP up top, just get the run down with the Diabolic Edict, get the stun off onto Forev, that'll be a kill.
Yep. Nice chase down, landing that stun. That's a solo kill, so KP making the right moves there. As it's like Pango just got a little bit greedy. Perhaps recognizing the supports have rotated off the lane, and that's where sometimes you do feel like, okay, I can get a bit more, but Leshrac level 6 with Pulse Nova has a lot of kill potential in a lane like that. KP will be going for that fast Rod of Atos.
Mid lane. Do get the stomp onto Bra, but no real way to get back behind the tower. In fact, Bra does have backup. Fears there with the telekinesis onto the Elder Titan. Febby being chased by Bra. He's got one more crit swarm, not quite enough to kill him, bro. As Febby will survive.
Very, very close. Those stick charges barely keeping him alive.
And it almost feels like they, sure, we're seeing Mineski doing a lot to sort of help get that mid in a bit of a better position, but it is, this bottom lane, it's a slow start for Argit. He's being left alone on the Ember, and it's not an easy lane against this Monkey King. Towards the mid, the ult being used in an attempt to find Fear. Pieliedie's going to TP in, but Fear's already out of there. Now with the wraparound Braille, he's going to commit with the Exorcism. Has the Siphon, stealing the life of Moon, and that's going to be Moon dead. Pieliedie has to go for the TP out, will manage to make it away. Braille taking a fair bit of damage here from the army, but will be able to quickly take them out of it, as that was Mineski trying to make this aggressive play, but Braille able to easily walk in with the Exorcism. As Mineski, they have to be careful about how they step forward, especially when it was only an attempt onto a Rubik's life.
Yeah, that's a big punish. Death Prophet getting the kill. Great use of the first Exorcism. Will get some tower damage as well. He doesn't mind taking damage because he will heal up as soon as that Exorcism wears off. And the Klink's ultimate even giving him some extra gold. He gets 20 gold per little skeleton. I think he got at least 3 of them, so more money in the bank for Braille, who's having a great series so far. His game 1 was absolutely fantastic, and once again in that mid matchup, getting the better of Moon.
KP's going to be the one that, as we see, has had by far the greatest start for Mineski. They're going to need him to make a lot of moves around the map, and already doing his job up top. 8 minutes in, he's able to clear up the tier 1 tower with that Diabolic Edict push, and pretty much has the money for the Rod of Atos coming in very shortly. Does hit the stun straight up onto Forev, but Forev still with the swashbuckle will manage to get out of there. So we'll see what sort of moves KP starts to make, as he is the driving force this game as the Lesh.
That's a crazy amount of farm. We're looking at 9-minute Rod of Atos for KP. Very, very dangerous. He can start making moves around the map, catching heroes like the Pango. You may even want to rotate to that Monkey King's lane.
Oh, and Forev does use the swashbuckle, but Mineski weren't quite able to punish him for it that time.
Maybe kind of baiting up there. It's just the Pango for now. J.Storm would much rather play around this bottom side of the map. They have allocated now the mid lane for Fear. They want their supports to start eyeing off that level 6, and Fear, with 10-minute mark approaching, even with that book, will not quite hit level 6 with where he's at right now, so.
So J.Storm can at least get a deny on the tower. They'll try, but they won't get it. Moon is able to claim the final touch, get that extra bit of gold.
I like this. KP with the Atos immediately picks up a smoke. Knows that, he is incredibly strong right now. No one can really escape his Atos split earth gank, so if he can find a connection on one of these key heroes like the Monkey King, this is very dangerous. But
Fear with that
what
invis.
a fortunate rune. That is so impactful.
Because this was such a big move, and now KP, he's in potential trouble. They're going to pop the Exorcism, and with that, they'll easily have the damage to take him down. That would have been the big move for Mineski, using this powerful Leshrac with this great Atos timing to get something done. But lo and behold, Fear being there with the Invis rune puts an end to any potential positive outcomes from that play for Mineski, as now, with the Exorcism not only getting the kill onto KP, they'll be able to take a tier 1 tower as well by the looks of it. Mineski, though, they are still trying to fight this.
Leshrac is back in 1 second. He'll be TPing bottom, I imagine.
Forev's got the Rolling Thunder. In fact, he's going to be the one to dive in under the tower. RG taking a lot of damage here. He has got the Sleight of Fist to dodge the bounce back with the Rolling Thunder, but with the Wukong's command down, they've lost the Elder Titan, they've lost Pilot Eye on the Nature's Prophet. The tower's down. RG still trying to poke with the Searing Change. Forev being focused by KP as he'll run him down with the Diabolic Edict. They'll get a kill, but Mineski lose 2 heroes and the tier 1 tower.
Yeah. They had to commit their entire team down there just to get the 1 kill on the Pango. And the second, Leshrac TP's down there after respawning. Yeah, you get that 1 kill on Pango for it, but J.Storm's already swinging to the mid lane and the top lane. And suddenly Leshrac's down there with Ember, and your KP's like, well, we've defended, they've backed off, now I got to go somewhere else on the map. So it's not a very efficient play coming out of Mineski. And unfortunately for them, it's such an unlucky Invis rune that for them that Rubik picks up, because that would have been a great way. A surprise Atos comes out, you initiate on Monkey King, you burst him down at the tier 1 tower while your team TP's in. That would have been like a 3-0 Mineski team fight win, I think. But
and you wouldn't have been losing that tier 1 tower.
Absolutely.
If you were able to pull off that play.
But that's how Dota works sometimes, and J.Storm are going to be smiling about that one.
They'll try for Moo. They do get the lockdown with the Atos into the stuns. Moo misses the boundless strike as well. That'll be a dead Monkey King.
Yeah, Mineski understand KP needs to get involved. It was a secondary smoke usage. The one bottom didn't work. This time around, they smoke all the way from bottom to top. And I talked about KP TPing in bottom and not having anywhere to go. That's why he's like, well, I got to get out of this lane. This is Ember's lane. I'm going to just run across the entire map with my support smoked up and chase this Monkey King down. Leshrac is the hero that can cause Monkey all kinds of problems at this stage of the game.
Yeah, Moo, of course, getting that preferential treatment in the laning stage, being part of that tri-lane. They get him into a good place. But yeah, if KP can continue to just catch him out, that will slow down sort of the big, powerful core that J.Storm have at the moment. Brawl isn't going to get hit by the Echo Stomp, and in fact, J.Storm, they're ready to chase as KP's being followed by the Rolling Thunder. Nature's Wrath comes in, bursting Fear down low, the Earth Splitter not enough to catch out Braille. As J.Storm will be able to avoid losing anyone there to Mineski's attempt to make a play around the tier 2.
Great job by KP, juking the Rolling Thunder. A Pango player himself, he understood kind of how to position and run up that ramp so that the Pango couldn't bounce onto him. If he got hit by that stun once more, it would have been his death. And as the leading net worth hero, that is a big kill if J.Storm can get it. In the end, J.Storm rotate in and don't find any kills, and they are trailing about 1,000 gold right now. Arjit has managed to maintain some decent farm and item progression despite the pressure on him in that trial lane.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Still 1k lead at the moment for Mineski. They'll be able to keep the pressure on down bottom. Pilot Eye straight in with the Treants. Pressuring this tier 1 tower. Bryle and March are heading down. Nature's Wrath will give up that they spot out Bryle, and Pilot Eye's already TPing away. Doesn't want to be caught out, and he won't be. He's able to be out there before any potential boundless strike comes out from Mu.
Job done. I mean, his job, he wasn't expecting a tower. He was hoping for TP rotations, and he got them. That gives the whole Mineski side a lot of info. They now know, where J.Storm are on the map. They know some of these TPs are on cooldown, and as a result, they can play a lot more aggressive around this middle and top side of the map. Can they catch the Pengo? That is going to be the big question here. Leshrac is nearby with an Atos.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Perhaps got to be careful about getting baited in. Doesn't look like he'll fall for it. Mid lane J.Storm pushing once again with the Exorcism. And that stolen Diabolic Edict. Fear able to add that extra bit of damage onto the tower. Mineski, I've got 3 heroes here trying to do something in reaction.
top tower is under attack.
Doesn't look like they'll be able to do it before the tower falls. Does J.Storm get the
Straight
tower?
up top.
Bryle's going to TP out. See up
Now
top
defending
lane.
up here.
Bryle, the remainder of that Exorcism will be able to push Pilot Eye and KP back.
He doesn't have much left on it, but the good news with TPing in with not much left on it is that you're going to be healing up very soon, so he can take that Leshrac damage and then heal himself back up as bounty runes are spawning, and it does look like it's going to be a slight menace. No, it's going to be 2 apiece. No, 3 to 1. J.Storm actually able to sneak in the enemy side, so J.Storm get themselves a few more bounty runes.
Or Moon, he steps in, but the sentry's down. Fear and Mu prepared.
Pretty common sentry place, and Moon just getting a bit too ambitious and bold with some of his rotations around the map there, running into those heroes of the bounty rune, hoping to snag it for himself.
And interestingly, the build at the moment that Mu has queued up, he has got that Battle Fury that he's going to be looking to build towards after the Echo Saber on the Monkey King. Help him deal with the deep push, able to clear out the Treants and the waves, and of course keep him in this position where he'll be expecting to stay at the top of the network, have this farming potential that's going to be very hard for heroes like this Ember, Clinks and Lesh to catch up and keep on pace with, unless Mineski are consistently finding objectives and kills.
I'm a little bit surprised to see this. I don't think it's bad by any means. He is like the hero, the team's main scaling right-click physical damage. And they will have some pushing issues, but Monkey King's spells clear waves pretty effectively, but I think Mu just decided, we need a hero that's going to scale a bit better in the late game, and they don't trust in their ability to, end this game fast. Mineski, we saw last game, able to drag the game out, and I think that's where J.Storm's like, well, if they're going to drag another game out, may as well get a Battle Fury on Monkey King.
That's Mu. In the trees, down bottom, you will see the Ember. Two aware of one another mid lane. Forever, he tries to get the Rolling Thunder off to go for Pi, but he can't do so in time. The physical damage from Moon, enough to kill off the Pango before he can make any sort of further play. Mu, continue to be careful down bottom. He's got a fair bit of money saved up. That 1,800 gold. Does want to try and get that Demon Edge bought out before he is in sort of a risky position. In fact, jumping onto Arjit. Arjit, of course, more than prepared with the Remnant out.
Yep, just trying to scare him off the lane. And then we'll see him immediately bounce around the trees. The second you show on the map as Monkey, got to assume there's going to be heroes maybe running towards you, since you are one of those big prized kills. But Monkey has now overtaken Leshrac in terms of farm. KP trying to give a bit more space to the Ember as well as Clinks on the team and go for some of these kills, but the end result is that there has been a little bit of a fall off for him. See what J.Storm's next big move is going to be.
Bottom tower is under attack.
I think that Pengo ultimate does give them some ways to take a team fight if they so choose, but I haven't really seen that be their priority. Both teams just trying to play kind of more the efficient farming game, play the lanes, shove lanes, farm jungle, and focus on just one side of the map while giving up the other side to the other team.
I'm going to see if they can find Pi.
Yep.
Forever rolls in. Pi just goes for the straight walk up to the north. Let's go for the Cell Sprout, but with the bounce is continuing, Pi ain't getting out.
Jukes the initial roll, but this wasn't really a good escape for him anyways. kind of his role as historically being the case. Pyle died playing that selfless support, dying for the cause a bit, trying to push out farm in the risky lane where it's like, well, you know, no one in my team's going to be here anyway, so I might get some farm, and if I die, not a big deal.
And there's not really a better hero to do that other than the Prophet. You know, every time he's up, he's just instantly going to be able to get out there in a position where none of the other teammates can get to. Let's move. He's got his eyes on KP. He's going to jump down. Browse there on the side as well with the Siphon and the Boundless Strike. KP's gone. Can't get a single spell out.
This Monkey now has all these levels. Does a lot of damage, and they're not done.
They're going to find a second as Febby. Run down by Forev. 2 kills for J.Storm. Picked up. And I mean, at this pace of game, 19 minutes in 10-4, where it's very even, you've got to look towards the Monkey King. With that Battle Fury coming online very, very soon, J.Storm are going to be pretty happy with the position that they're in.
Yeah, the fact they've got all these different hero killing combos. It's the 2 cores, the Death Prophet and the Monkey King who kill off the Leshrac, and then it's the Pengo who has a solo kill potential because of this Javelin of his. He just does so much damage with the Swashbuckle that he's able to kill an ET. So there's so many kill threats coming out of the J.Storm side, and they're doing all of this without even having to use Exorcism. So they can make these rotations now to maybe try and focus getting some towers.
Another time down bottom, Pike tries to go for the solo pushing, and he will get quickly dispatched off.
Yeah, as much as it's kind of his role at times, the deaths do add up in some way. No, unfortunately, will not get that bounty rune. He was hoping to make a play for it, but realized it was a little bit too dangerous. Very quiet game for the Clinks so far.
I was going to say, it slowed down a lot for Moon. He's not been finding too much.
He's, 0-2 and 2. He hasn't really been in the action at all, so to speak. Has the basic medallion into Dragonlance items. Does a lot of single target physical damage with this build.
They find KP this time. They get the jump out, and on the way back, he's not going to be able to run away from these 3. Forev, Briar, and Moon.
Yeah, it's been really tough for KP. Just feels like wherever he goes to farm or push out the lane, he's kind of on his own, and Clinks isn't able to fight. Somebody needs like a BKB or something kind of early if you want to fight, it feels like. Until Clinks has that.
They're hunting.
Oh, they clipped him.
They did. They got him with the dust. He's trying his best to run Moon. There's the Boundless Strike from Moo, allowing them to have that little bit of lockdown to buy time for Fear to come in with the telekinesis. Up in the air goes Febby as he'll get sucked down by the Siphon. Tries to get a stomp off, but the silence there as well. J.Storm pick up 3 more kills. They'll now head towards the Roshan pit. As this game, it's being played at a pace that doesn't seem to do much for Mineski's heroes. The fact that J.Storm are being able to control the way that this game has played out in the first 20 minutes has meant that they just have a much greater outlook as this game goes on.
J.Storm's making better map movements. That's really what we're seeing here. Their rotations are absolutely fantastic. They're not overcommitting too many resources anywhere. They're, sending just enough heroes to the right lane to find these kills.
Nudge it! He walks into the river. He didn't expect them to be there. The whole team just collapses onto him.
Mineski's kind of crumbling. They're just falling apart. One by one, they're getting picked. We've seen KP die back-to-back in the top lane. We've seen support gets picked off. The Clinks got chased down after being clipped by a dust. No one on this Mineski team has really stepped up and said, look, guys, we need to do this, or we need to make this move. Like, other than those 2 smoke ganks that we saw from the Leshrac, which were both good moves, after that, Mineski have been dead quiet. It just feels like they lack a leader or a voice to, get everyone on the same page right now. Moon's running around alone as a Clinks. He has no kill potential. As a solo Clinks, you can't play alone. This isn't like the old school Clinks with Death Pack playing a pub game. And even that old school Clinks, you couldn't play that style in pro games either. Mineski need to be more on the same page right now.
And now it's really going to hurt them. The fact that Moo has the Battle Fury complete 22 minutes, and it's not like a Battle Fury rush. He has that phase Echo Saber and double Wraith Bands, so he's got this great combination of being able to farm and being able to fight. He can pretty much deal with whatever Mineski sends at him. Unless he gets caught out alone, does have the Aegis though, and by the tower there would definitely be a reaction from J.Storm. So again, just very hard for Mineski to do anything. Moon's under a sentry.
He may go fight with this Aegis. He's got some backup, but I don't know if it's enough. He needs a few more heroes who are still at Fountain. The Pangolier is walking his way out to the lane.
I mean, what do Mineski do? I mean, what is the thing that their lineup can achieve at this point?
Their playmaker is still this Leshrac with the Atos. They need to play around that better. Seeing KP, like the 2 deaths were when he went to push out a lane. As much as your Leshrac is the most farmed and is one of the best heroes you have on your team at pushing out lanes, you need to use Leshrac more as a playmaker. Nice dodge by Moo.
Another Yule's up into the air, but KP's going to get surrounded. Jumping in, Forev has the Rolling Thunder to lead in onto the Leshrac. Boundless Strike down onto the two of them. That's going to be KP dead. And now with the BKB, Brawl moves on to another. They've got the vision on Moon. Moon bursted down, 2 cores dead on Mineski. And Moo's not done yet. Pounces forward with the Primal Spring. Looks to get on top of Febby. Telekinesis from Fear holds down the Elder Titan as J.Storm continuing to win fight after fight. Forev still alive. Sleight of Fist and Change does come out. And with the Remnant, Arjit will be able to pick up a second. But back deep on the half of Mineski's map, J.Storm just chased down another. Moo with the double kill. This Monkey King getting well and truly out of control.
Yep. I imagine Death Prophet thought that was going to be an easy survive with the False Promise. Normally Death Prophet's one of those heroes that gets tons of heals during it because you've got the Spirit Siphon and the Purifying Flames. But he actually lost health and got down pretty low. But J.Storm come out convincingly on top, even though Arjit gets a couple of backline kills. Kills off March and then chases down the Pengo, who couldn't quite get off another Swashbuckle, but a 4-for-2 trade, and more importantly, J.Storm just with a lot of map control right now.
It just seems the way that J.Storm's been addressing these games has been ideal. The way that they know if they give Moo this great start, he is absolutely this consistent player they can rely on. Wukong's command's going to get laid down towards the mid. They've got the trap onto KP. Mech's going to be popped, but it's not going to be enough to keep KP safe, as KP will fall once again. Another kill for J.Storm, another kill for Moo, as this Monkey King just continues to go from success to success. A silence onto Arjit. Arjit, he's not getting out either, or is he? No, he cannot. More glory for Moo's Monkey King. Forev's also found a catch elsewhere. Rolling Thunder in. They've got vision on Pi. He'll pop down a Sprout. Can he get away from this one? A Root's going to be flying his way, as well as a Swashbuckle. And Moo, he wants the glory, and he'll get it. 8-1 and 8. Honestly, the games we've seen from J.Storm, Moo, he's back on this level of performance that we saw in the past, sort of that DC era at TI. This is Moo at his best.
Yeah, Moo is looking fantastic this tournament. What we've seen him since the group stage. J.Storm, they had a rough group stage. They finished last in their group. They, I think, only won 1 game out of 5 that they played. And this J.Storm here in the lower bracket has been fantastic, crushing their best of 1 against Na'Vi, and right now looking very convincing in this game too. And unlike game 1 where they had this big lead and were kind of snowballing, there isn't really the best comeback potential in Mineski's draft. There was a Morphling who didn't have good answers in game 1. This time around, Clinks isn't that scary comeback carry. Ember Spirit, he's a good high ground defender, but he's not this hero that's going to scale and necessarily carry the game the same way a Morphling does.
And I mean, I really don't know about this Ember Spirit hero. I feel like we've seen this hero suffer so many times in these games. As yeah. It feels like one of those heroes that pros are valuing a little more than maybe it's worth. As I can't remember the more recent games, it's just been Ember Spirit losing.
Great glyph. They keep their siege creep alive. They want to go back in. Brile did take a lot of damage though.
Look at the Yules up dodging the Boundless Tribe of Browsim, now committing with the BKB, just forcing Mineski back away from the Raxes. Forev goes in with the Rolling Thunder, bouncing around the 3 of them. Shield Crash and Swashbuckle down onto Pylai Die. Forev is falling a little low, starting to tank the towers, but he has that damage resistance from the Shield Crash. Moo's going to lay down the Wukong's command, secure this area, make sure that they can take this melee Rax away.
They can. It's going to be close.
Moo should have it. The question is if Mineski can make them pay in terms of lives. Moo, though, Boundless Strike straight out onto Moon. Moon on the front lines. He's just dead. The Clicks is gone. They'll TP in. They do have to stun follow-up, but there's the False Promise, keeping Moo safe and good to go. They have lost 2 on J.Storm. See if the other 3 of them can get out. Brawl goes for the TP out behind the tree, and Moo will be able to jump away. So sure, J.Storm, they lose a couple of heroes, but they got the job done. They get that melee Rax.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Getting our melee Rax at this stage of the game. We're not that early on in the game. We're at 27 minutes in, but it's a lot of pressure now. That bottom lane's going to be continuously pushing out. And again, this one hero, it's really the Lesh is their main lane deep push, but he's also their initiating playmaker. So Leshrac doesn't want to be showing on the map to push these lanes, but kind of has to be. And J.Storm will now be poised to perhaps secure the next Roshan with that lane pressure down bottom. If they just spend the next few minutes, getting some map presence, pushing out both mid and top lane, get some wards down, they'll set themselves up in a position to find more pickoffs, to take next Roshan, and it's up to Mineski to find some way to stop that from happening. They just need to get some of these heroes in the game. Clink specifically has been an absolute non-factor. This was their last pick, their X-Factor hero that they thought was going to be, a gotcha kind of pick, and Moon 0-5 has been invisible this game.
At this rate, it is going to be their last pick here at the Major, as this game 2 not looking great for Mineski, as J.Storm 23 to 8, 5k up and melee racks as well. As you say, it's going to take some sort of epic swing around for Mineski to hold on to this one. RJ on the Ember Spirit, it's a hero that is so much harder to do than compared to the Morphling that he was on in game 1, where we did see that chance for Mineski to hold on to the game.
Mineski going to be giving up this top lane, which the problem is these towers will lose you a lot of control over this area of the map around Roshan, prioritizing the shrine as well, making it even harder for Mineski to contest this Roshan. And if J.Storm get it, that's Aegis and Cheese this time around. And that could spell Mineski's demise. The team fight just isn't really there with these heroes. ET pretty good at contesting the pit, but I'd say even better is like this Monkey Pengo plus Death Prophet. J.Storm just have the better team fight, the better Roche taking potential, and they're also just out farming Mineski right now.
Dire are scanning.
It just looks so hard for Mineski to do anything from this standpoint.
They've got this BKB now, so they're very much saying, you know, we need to get items that allow us to team fight now. Ember doesn't want to die because he gets hit by a Lucky Shot silence or a Death Prophet silence. And he wants to be ready to contest this Roshan, it seems.
Would you? Very lucky that a silence didn't proc there.
Yeah, but KP, he's not going to be so lucky. He gets caught out. Reeves will keep him alive a little bit longer, but there's been a recurring theme of this game that KP, despite dominating his lane, he got a solo kill on Fora very early on with his early level 6, got a 9-minute ATOS or something, and then instantly has started to fall off. He died bottom, going for a smoke, and then got one successful gank, but he's died like 5 or so times back to back in this top lane.
It's just a little bit of an awkward game to see because Mineski, they just haven't done anything.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, you can talk about the Clink's not having an impact, you can talk about Leshrac.
It's everybody.
Just dying repeatedly, the Ember just quietly farming while also not having much of an impact. Pylai die, you know, it's like, well, it's his job, scout some heroes while he split pushes the lane, but end of the day, that's just, you know, another 5 or 6 deaths on the Nature's Prophet to no avail. He's not really creating space, because the heroes he's creating space for are also dying, or they're not farming, they're not having an impact, so nobody on Mineski's side is really doing anything, like you said.
And now Moo's going to have the BKB complete, and it is that point again where J.Storm, they can just walk up high ground, pop BKB, pop Wukong's Command and Exorcism, and it just doesn't look like there's the numbers or anything from Mineski that can push back some sort of siege like that at this point.
And it was a very fast Roche respawn. J.Storm, I don't think, have even scattered it out just yet. Perhaps they'll be caught by surprise by just how quick it was, but before they go for another high ground push, they very likely will either go for Roshan or have to get a big pick off, which is what they were kind of eyeing off. That's why they're staying around. Playing around their wards, they know that this cliff that they're standing by is just so important to them. They'd rather not have to play the bottom side of the map as much, but at some point you have to deal with Pylite Ice split push, and that's what Forov's job is for.
Usually able to do so with that Maelstrom. Swashbuckle and a shield crash clears out the full wave every time.
The rest of the heroes, though, continue to play around this ward that they've got. Such an important part of the map when you're on the Dire side trying to secure that next Roshan. I believe have scouted out Roshan now, but with 2 heroes still down bottom dealing with the split push, that's Mineski's way to just buy themselves some time to drag out this game. But as mentioned, without the Morphling of game 1, it kind of begs the question, what exactly are they dragging it out for? Ajit does have a decent chunk of money after finishing his BKB, but he's going to need a few more big items, as will the Clinks, it feels like, to really turn this game around.
I mean, when it comes to high ground defense, it's not even like Mineski has some sort of crazy hold, really, is it?
Not really. It's a little annoying when, like, the Clink's ultimate can be a very strong team fighting, high ground defending tool, but if anything, J.Storm can just disengage and then reset. I think Mineski's way of defending high ground is what we're seeing here. It's split push. You know, keep this bottom lane shoved out. And it's very... Right now, J.Storm is showing that they're not really willing to hard commit in the top lane because they don't want to, you know, trade for bottom. Heroes like Clinks and Leshrac can actually split push very fast with Edict and Strafe. Use the Roshan. Brawl doesn't even need to use the Exorcism, so... They've been trying to catch this Pengo for so long. This is so much wasted time, and Foreb playing a fantastic game. He understands what's going on. He doesn't see these key heroes on the map that can kill him. He has not been caught out, and probably true to the caster curse, may just go ahead and get caught out now. No, he knows. He's just stand back, on point. One more swashbuckle, and KP's just sitting there hoping he pokes his nose too far forward, but it's not happening.
A move after the BKBs. Now got 2,700 gold build up. Has the Aegis.
Yep.
He's, he's got a load of different ways he can build now. I mean, it kind of feels like it doesn't really matter. He's that far ahead as it is.
Oh, Forever, he's been caught now. Pushed his luck a little bit too much. They used the Clink's ultimate. That's a big commitment, and I like what Pengo did by. He got the boots of travel. I was thinking, like, he's stuck at this bot lane constantly defending. Somebody needs boots of travel to be able to defend and get back into the team fight up top, so a good item pickup for him. And if his team do want to push high ground up here, he can TP in.
I've seen Brawl being focused first, but there's the reaction from Freya. Has the telekinesis onto Moon, drags him down to the low ground. He's been slept up by the stolen Echo Stomp, and Moon, he's dead.
I mean, without Clink's ult, they just lack so much damage here. It makes his high ground defense so much harder. They're pushing high ground 4v5.
With the exorcism they can, and with how strong Moo is. They don't have to feel too scared. A little bit of damage onto Bryle, but he's pretty beefy at the moment, this Death Prophet. The amount of armor and mischance that he's sporting. They do manage to catch him out with the stun.
As a cheese though.
Sleep. He's getting held in place, but there's the false promise, and now he's back up with the Cypher now onto the two of them, chasing down Febby. On the back though, Archer will be able to commit with the BKB, get the kill onto March. See if they can kill off Brawl. He's back up to full HP. Moose still has the Wukong's command available. They managed to get the root out onto the Ember Spirit. Ember falling low. Archer slides up to the high ground, has another remnant to get away. They'll turn their attention towards Febby as Febby gets smacked down by the Monkey King. Febby dead on the Elder Titan. They do lose Fear, J.Storm, but Ferez ready to jump forward, chasing down KP with the Rolling Thunder. KP has the Ghost Scepter, Yules up to dodge the Rolling Thunder, but Moo's ready and waiting for him as he comes back down, as that'll be a dead Leshrac. Buyback comes out from Febby.
I think they may just want to wait the next exorcism now. They've still got some time on this Aegis, so they're not in a huge rush. Next exorcism they'll still have an Aegis. They won't have the cheese. It was popped during that false promise to keep the Death Prophet alive, and Mineski do hold. That's the important thing for them here, but it does feel like a fairly expensive one with those buybacks being expended. Uh-oh, Moon. Dusted up. Uh-oh, and here's Monkey King.
Yep. Forever providing the vision. Moo should be able to provide the damage as Moon will fall. Moo godlike on his Monkey King. 10, 1, and 12 this game.
Yep. He has been quite the standout player here as J.Storm just go from victory to victory across the map. And they are so close to taking this series. Very tight game one, but Mineski, they're showing some resilience with the high ground defense, but much less comeback promise this time around, and they're really going to need a hell of a hold here. Clink's ultimate's still on cooldown, and J.Storm, they've got that exorcism soon. It's coming up in just a couple of seconds, so...
And Archer's picked up the Radiance on the Ember Spirit, but it's just so many games where it feels very underwhelming when you get it at this later time. 37 minutes in, BKBs are out. Already the cores are very beefy. You've got to sort of ask yourself, how much is this Radiance actually going to offer you at this stage? As for Ev, he's around the idea of Rolling Thunder. The Exorcism out onto the tower. They'll try and focus the Death Prophet, but J.Storm can just push him with Brawl on the front lines. It's very hard target for Mineski to go in upon. They've got the control looking for Arjit, but Arjit able to get the BKB off. Fortification now being used by Mineski. Arjit steps forward. He does manage to get the root off onto the Monkey King Moo.
He's got an Aegis though, so he's not the best target to go on.
And has the Boundless Strike as well if he wants to use it to heal himself back up whilst the Jingu is active.
Nice
They'll
splitter.
look for the Meteor Hammer to come down onto the Monkey King. They'll kill him off the once. But now the Hex there, out, and Brawl backed up by the false promise from March. BKB popped as well by Brawl.
They've got to back off. Exorcism is down, Aegis is lost. They get a tier 3 tower, the chase is on. This is it for Mineski. Can they punish this?
They need to find something huge here, Mineski, if they want a chance of turning this one around, but the Wukong's command is down. KP Used up for a little bit of time, but he'll come back down. Can he get himself away? Held in place by the root. The swashbuckle off the mark. Moo jumps forward with the BKB. 2 more slaps, and KP's dead and down. Archie does get March in return. Buyback from KP. See if they can find anything more. They've got the vision onto the Klinks field with the telekinesis. Holds Moon in place. Drags him back, but the Echo Stomp is out. They're holding him down, and now they can turn. They've killed her forever.
Archie's doing a lot of damage.
Moo's dead on the Klinks. Can Mineski get more? They've got the control onto Moo. They surround the Monkey King Moo. He's in trouble. He's dead. Mineski!
Archie, with these BKBs, once they wear off, his radius...
Are they actually doing it? They've got 3 dead without buyback.
Wow,
he's actually doing it.
Mineski, I mean, it's not really the hard carry you'd expect, but Archit, you know, a long drawn-out fight is where an Ember can
guess
shine.
With that raid, it did work off, as you say.
And they push fast, you know. Edict, this is troublesome.
They've got a buyback on Moo, but no buybacks available on the other 3 of J.Storm, Mineski.
And Moo does not have his ultimate for I think 30 seconds or so. Even though he buys back, he can't really defend this one.
Oh,
they're going to get the least immediately right. Wow, what a turnaround.
Where J.Storm...
They hung around too long. You know, that Earth Splitter, Febby with the high ground defense, that stun into Earth Splitter, he kills the Aegis, which is nice, and he also forces out the False Promise. So once those big things have been used, you can chase and you can gun for more. You know, BKBs are going down. They kite around the Wukong's command very well. Yes, KP dies, but he forces Moo to overcommit, and at that point, the turnaround and potential of an Ember Spirit, he's going to punish anytime you overextend because of just how good he is at chasing you down.
Maybe, just maybe, Arjit could do it this game. He tried so hard in game 1 on his morph. We said it, you know, it is harder for him this game on the Ember Spirit, but maybe he can still do it. Spy is looking for Forev, but Forev with the Rolling Thunder, wow, so he'll be able to get away. There's a lot of Mineski down here. That Forev's going to roll back, looking towards Febby. As he's going in on this, moves there with the backup, as they will find Febby. Febby will fall. You see Fear ready, he's got the gun ready to blow with, as he has the E-Blade. He's ready to nuke some people down.
It's unexpected pickup, but makes, I mean, the Ghost Scepter makes sense, absolutely. And then he probably just said, well, let's just upgrade it. I can save a teammate, not just myself with it now. If someone's getting stunned and gone on, the E-Blade to protect against the Klinks. And also, like you say, the offensive potential of this item is pretty nice as well. So we'll see how things unravel here as J.Storm immediately go aggressive. Posture on the enemy side of the map. Pengo's top, but he's got the boots to travel, so can always TP back in to join up with the team. Looks like they really want to try break high ground with Exorcism, but are they pushing their luck a little bit too far?
Just got the Shiva's Guard now completed as well on top of the Radiant. So he has the potential to stay alive, keep the fights going and drawn out. Already though, the jump's going to be in. They commit with the Hex. Can they do anything to get them off? KP is falling low. Can he get out of this? He'll go up in the air. Forez falling down, but the huge Wukong's command comes out from Moo. Pi Lai Die run down by Briar. Pi will fall. 3 dead on Mineski. They'll buy back on the Nature's Prophet. March gets run down from Arjit. All eyes on Arjit at the moment for Mineski, but he's been silenced. Siphon. Arjit is dead. He does not have buyback, as well as KP being down for 100 seconds. Moon gets boundless strike by Moo. All 3 cores dead without buyback. J.Storm have the Exorcism still going. They'll move to mid lane, take the racks, and almost certainly look for more, as they've got a huge window to work with now to close this game now.
Yeah, Monkey King having that level 25 talent, that extra big command ring, and more importantly, the hero that helped Mineski win the last fight, Leshrak, by running in and dying. He won them that last fight with his buyback, but this time around, no buyback. He still has to run in and start the fight. He has to soak up the attention so Klinks gets ignored and Ember can kind of just do his thing just on the edge of the fight, cleaning up all these low health heroes, waiting out the BKBs. But with KP not having buyback, suddenly you can't actually win this team fight in.
That's the Megas.
Down Megas, potential Roshan to fall back to as well, which is a refresher shot as well. And
you can see the smiles there as well.
Yeah, J.Storm probably could have gone for the throne, but, you know, this is a match that will get you into the top 8 of a major. Potentially, you know, if you do well enough here, you're going to TI, so they're not messing around. They'll take the Megas and take Roshan and play this one as safe as possible.
And Mineski pretty much down to that final chance to hold and turn things. You see that on the net worth, that was that first initial turn, that big bump, but J.Storm have got everything back on track now.
Yeah, this game gets damn near impossible. Mineski can definitely stall it out and defend. You know, Ember, one of those heroes that will make this game difficult for J.Storm. but it does feel like Mineski will have to do the impossible here. Aegis Cheese Refresher, but more importantly than anything, it's the Mega Creeps factor. You're stuck defending your base. You don't have any real way to win this game, barring J.Storm making some colossal errors.
And just sort of both games, these series, some of the Mineski players just struggling to have any sort of impact. I mean, Moon, both matches, this one of the Clinks, it just, nothing's really gone his way.
For that jump here, got double Exorcism. How do you fight into this? So difficult with the Oracle backing up the Death Prophet as well with that save.
As there we have the first Exorcism out. Mineski, they've got to make a move soon, as it will very much be their last one.
They were only showing Death Prophet, really. Everyone else just playing really far back.
That's the first tier 4 will fall. J.Storm moving in for more to get the Hex out. Force will bring KP back to safety. Outside, though, they're looking for Moon. They do get the sleep out onto the Death Prophet. Will be removed. Exorcism still going. They'll go in with the Swashbuckle onto KP. Has the Edict. Pulse Nova as well, trying to deal with these Mega Creeps. J.Storm are forced back.
That's the Clink's ultimate down, though. And Death Prophet has a secondary ultimate here if they want to commit for this push.
As there we have the Telekinesis, the Boundless Strike onto the 3 of them. There's the Refresher Shard. Second Ghosts are ready to come out. Mineski push back to the Fountain. The new turn, they got the Sprout controlling Brawl for now. Moose still has that Aegis ready to go if he wants to commit. E-Blade keeping the Death Prophet safe. Wukong's command is down, surrounding the Ancient. The tier 4 falls. Mineski, can they get into the Wukongs to try and fight J.Storm off? That's the question, but the Ancient down to half health. They will be able to burst down the Oracle on the back lines. They have got a fortification to work with, but the Hex, the Boundless Strike down onto Moon. Moon being forced back, has got the Invis to try and back up to the Fountain, but Farev comes in with a Swashbuckle Shield Crash. 2 dead on Mineski. The Ancient being focused down by J.Storm. GG is called, and J.Storm